About 1/3 of my imposter syndrome clients have experienced bullying in the workplace. Now, this is not surprising when you learn that imposter syndrome gets triggered by a combination of high challenge and low support, and bullying certainly counts as that. What might surprise you is that most of my clients are high achievers, top leaders. They are CEOs and managing directors and C-level executives. They're not the kind of people who you typically think would be experiencing bullying. Hi, I'm Tara Halliday. I'm the Imposter Syndrome Specialist, author of Unmasking, the Coach's Guide to Imposter Syndrome, and creator of the 8-week program Inner Success that gets rid of imposter syndrome. So imposter syndrome is the secret feeling of being a fraud when you're not, and it's the fear of being found out. It affects high achievers, men and women alike. 70% of them experience imposter syndrome at some point in their career. And the trigger for imposter syndrome, as I mentioned, is this combination of high challenge and low support. And so bullying can be one of those triggers. The stereotype of bullying is an older schoolboy bullying a smaller, younger schoolboy. But bullying isn't just about the schoolyard, and bullying goes on in the workplace, and it goes on regardless of people's gender. Now, in the schoolyard, it was all about who is the biggest, tallest, heaviest, oldest, because they have more physical power and strength. So it's all about the physical power over one another. In the workplace with adults, that goes away. The power dynamic is then in terms of authority on social standing. Bullying isn't just about the physical, but it's all about the mental, the emotional, and the social impact. When it comes to leaders and high achievers, it's often a bit of a shock because these people are used to being capable, competent, and confident that they can handle whatever situation comes along. So when they get bullied and can't react as they think they should, then it can really start to knock their confidence. It can make them start to question themselves. Why is this happening to me? What's happened to me that suddenly I can't cope with this person being threatening and bullying in this way? You can go from the self-doubt, why is this happening to me, very quickly down a slippery slope to, there must be something wrong with me. Maybe I'm not good enough. Maybe I don't belong here. And these are all the imposter syndrome thoughts. The other part of this is the question, why can't I just get over this? Why can't I just deal with this? Which is frankly what a lot of people will tell them. Oh, just ignore them, get over it. But there's a reason we can't just get over bullying when it's kind of got under our skin. And that goes back to how the brain operates. So the brain is designed to detect threats. And for our caveman ancestors, this was tigers and snakes and fires. And when it detects a threat, then it trips the nervous system into an activated state. It puts it into fight, flight, and freeze to allow our poor ancestors to cope with that dangerous situation. Well, in our modern times, we don't have those kind of threats, but the brain still reacts in the same way to other kinds of threats. So not just physical, but mental, emotional, and social threats, all of which can affect things like our earning capacity, our future career. Once our nervous system is tripped into this state, then our stress levels increase. It floods our system with the stress hormones of adrenaline and cortisol. And it means that we think in a different way. We're more vigilant for potential threats. We expect more threats. We're less cooperative because we're expecting that any moment we're going to get attacked again. And this can be the long-term effect of being bullied. Not only are you questioning yourself and questioning your confidence, and should you even be here, but you've also got this physiological response to that threat. The threat detection system in your brain is designed to be instantaneous. And so you don't think about it. You're not thinking about your response to being bullied. You're just reacting in the face of a threat. And that is a healthy way for your brain and your nervous system to react. However, it's not helpful when you're in a bullying situation. So what can you do about being bullied? First and foremost, change the situation in any way that you can. Bullying is not acceptable, and that should be reinforced in your company. There should be people that you can go to. Look for whatever support you can and help you can get. So that's dealing with the situation of bullying. Then you've got the impact that it's had on you. That shift, that change in your physiology, that shift in change in your thinking, the triggering of imposter syndrome. That you can deal with. The first part is to get your nervous system calm, get it out of the fight, flight and freeze states. Calm the nervous system. There are certain exercises that you can do, and there are certain breathing techniques you can do to just communicate to your system that there is no threat here anymore. The next step is to change the way that your brain is looking out for potential threats. It's just learned that this bullying situation means you should be more alert and more hypervigilant about looking out for potential bullying in the future and expecting it even. You have to allow that learning to be undone, and there are very specific neuroscience and psychological processes that will allow you to unwind. Then finally, you can use a letting go process to release the belief that caused imposter syndrome in the first place and the belief that got triggered by the bullying. And that belief is that your worth is conditional, that you're not quite good enough, that your worth depends on what you do. When you release that belief, then you don't interpret what somebody does, like being a bully in an extreme situation, you don't interpret that as being about you. This letting go process is at the heart of the Inner Success program, and it's why it works so well and is so effective at getting rid of imposter syndrome, because it addresses that underlying belief. And what that means is that if you did get into a similar situation in the future, you wouldn't automatically slide down to the imposter syndrome thinking, it must be me, what's wrong with me? You would see it more clearly for what it is, that that person who's being a bully doesn't have the skills and the resources to be able to act and interact with people in a reasonable and respectful manner. The problem is them and it's not you. From here then you have an effortless confidence, you have a calm core strength that a bully simply cannot touch.